5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down reality TV's most talked about moments with Amanda Bella. Hey everybody, welcome back to Bella Talks TV. It's Amanda Bella here. I'm so excited to be back with you guys for another episode. This is going to be a really good one, and I have a lot of announcements, and I have a lot of things that we have to catch up on. It's been like 2 weeks since I've been able to record with you since I got back from BravoCon. I went to Disney World, repping the Mickey shirt today. You know, I just got back. I needed to have a vacation after BravoCon. Like, so much happened. And even though it wasn't really a relaxing vacation and you're still walking like 25,000 steps a day at Disney and riding rides and being with family and stuff like that, is not exactly like I was just like chilling on a beach somewhere, but it still was a break that I needed to like clear my mind and really take everything I got out of BravoCon and be able to use it to fuel me to get into 2026. I want to take Bella Talks TV even bigger, even brighter. It's going to shine like a diamond in 2026. I just know that like all the pressure, the years that I've been behind the scenes building this following, I'm very proud of the 5,500 and some change followers that I've been able to build on my own page. I built a lot of my following on the backs of the Kardashians. I had a huge viral video like 2 years ago that really put my page into the next sphere. You know, once you get to that 5 grand mark, it really does put you into a new echelon. And I was able, I pay for my verified check. Like, there's no shame in that. I think everybody knows you have to pay for that. Like, that's basically a tax write-off. Like, I've always considered myself a part-time, and I don't even know if I've used that. I usually say it's my hobby to be a Bravo content reality TV creator, podcasting, making memes, having my Instagram account, getting into TikTok more. And I just want to make sure that, my brand is strong, and I always have believed in myself, putting my name out there. I am who I am, and I'm never going to be Amanda Bella. So that for me is easy to just be like, okay, let me lean into just being myself and being my own opinions. I don't do this for work. I don't have a corporate job in marketing or podcasting or content creating or social media or anything like that. This is my everything. And, even though it was always a dream to get the podcast signed, and of course I do still want that to happen, now podcasting has been around long enough where a lot of the people that did get signed are now able to speak about that experience and how they actually wish they would have just leaned more into owning their own content and owning their own ideas, like a la Taylor Swift buying and re-recording her masters back. It's like, you kind of at the end of the day do want to be your own boss, create your own art, work, income, and really be independent like that. So I'm teetering on the edge of like where I'm really going to take this podcast in the future. I'm definitely going to be vlogging more in 2026. So the Bella Talks TV YouTube page, and just a lot more behind the scenes of what it's like to podcast, behind the scenes of what it's like to create content. And a lot of these events, as you guys know, I've gone to a lot of Bravo related and reality TV recording events, and I plan to continue to do that. I live just outside of New York City. I go into the city a lot. And I also travel for a lot of events and go to events in other states and cities. Like, I am very lucky that, I've been very open and honest to my followers that have been with me since day one. No, I'm approaching 40. I am married. I don't have kids. So for all intents and purposes, my Bravo Instagram page is my baby. And I want it to continue to grow and flourish and evolve in 2026. So thank you for everyone who's been here since day one. But if you are new, like, just know that this page and the content that I'm creating it's going to be even better. It's going to be growing. I've really honed in on like what I want the podcast to be. And this is not going to be a recap podcast. I don't do voices. I don't do recaps line for line. You still need to watch the shows. Like, this is more for like, you watch the shows and you don't have anyone to talk to about it, so you come to me. And then you're like, okay, with Amanda, like, I don't know about you guys, but when I listen to podcasts, like, I actually do have a conversation in my head. Like, when someone is saying something, like, just specifically a couple podcasts that I do listen to almost daily are Ryan Bailey, So Bad It's Good. Like, if Ryan is saying something and I'm disagreeing, like, in my head, I am being like, oh, like talking shit a little bit and being like, Ryan, like, kind of going back and forth. Like, it does help that I have met Ryan personally and like know him. So like it's not totally parasocial, but I encourage, again, everybody and anybody who listens to this podcast to continue to reach out to me, get to know me, meet up with me, especially if you're in the tri-state area. I'm always down. I come to Philly, I come to Jersey, I go everywhere, Hamptons. So I'm out here, you guys. I'm out here. I'm a real person. So it's not so much like being some anonymous Twitter or anonymous Instagram that's like feeding snark and like giving blind items and like cracking cases. This is more for like a kiki with your girl. And I also like to count down too. Like that just helps me. I'm OCD. So when I have a list, an organized list of what I'm counting down and it's like numbered in an importance and I can go. And also, I like structure the show is the same every week. So you can always expect me to count down reality TV's most talked about moments. And you can always expect me to count down a moment that made me laugh till I cried, an LOL moment, and an OMG moment, something that was really shocking that happened over the week. And that is Bella Talks TV. Now, I will be expanding 2026 to 2 times a week. You can expect my countdown every week. And I will be introducing a Bravo breakdown of weekly. And actually, I don't want to like bite off more than I can chew, but my goal is to be podcasting full time. I've always considered myself, a hobby, part-time content creator. No, like we're going full-time content creator 2026. So if I can, hopefully, if people care and they want this, definitely let me know. But I want to be putting on either a daily Bravo breakdown on the pod, which I guess can also be short form enough to be maybe released on TikTok. I'm not sure exactly like the best. I know on Instagram you can only do 3 minutes for a reel. So I don't think that, even though Instagram is where my following is. So you guys see like my debates and like sometimes, I don't know, I want to make sure I'm like working smarter, not harder. But these are things I want to be doing. Daily Bravo breakdowns, potentially weekly Bravo breakdowns on the pod as a bonus episode. And then I would love to, again, maybe for those Bravo episodes, that's where I will introduce having a guest on. It's too hard for me to do my top 5 countdown. So like you're going to have to expect to come to me like a Danny Pellegrino, somebody who really is strong. I mean, I don't want to say that I'm like that funny and witty, but that's kind of just like the gist of it. It's my opinions on the countdown. It's my thing. And I do want to also, I've had the soundboard on here. The problem is that like I'm not that savvy on using it. I've uploaded some really funny clips and sometimes I just like forget to play them, or when I do play them, then they don't hear in the audio. And then I end up having to like edit it weird in the post. So yeah, I have to work on the sound, but soundboard, bonus episodes, Bravo breakdowns, more vlogging behind the scenes of events that I attend, to go to these events and future BravoCons, things like that, expanding the type of content that I will be doing. So you can expect all of that. As Bella's, you're in the club now. And I'm actually potting from my bed tonight, not typical. Usually I'm at the kitchen table or I'm sitting on the couch. But like I've said like 5 times now, my house is under construction. Me and my husband just bought our first home. There are men here working every single day. God bless them. And we're doing our best to get this by the new year ready for me to be podcasting downstairs in my new room and like really leaning into this. It's going to be a beautiful room. Like think white and translucent acrylic or potentially like fluted cloudy glass armoires, storage, makeup room, makeup space. I mean, it's going to be a great like bonus room, podcasting room / gift wrapping room. I know people think that stuff like that is cheesy, but like, again, like when you're childless, this is what goes on. So again, also if you're ever curious on what it's like to be somebody without kids, this is it. We're basically like Peter Pan. My husband and I both. He's out to dinner with his friends tonight. I'm here podcasting. This is it. This is it, people. So you're going to be seeing more like behind the scenes of, house / living in New York / content creating stuff on the vlog. And yeah, you guys, anything else that you want to hear or see from me, like, please let me know. Please let me know. Okay. Like I said, my husband's at dinner right now and he's such a sweetie pie. Like he always is like, what do you want me to bring you back? Check out the menu. I'll bring you something to go. Like, never give up on love. I found the best man in the whole world. Like I always tell everybody too, a lot of the podcasters I listen to are single and I kind of listen to their podcasts. And even though I can relate because I do remember having those feelings before I met him, and I was in my 30s too. So like I was 30 when I turned or single when I turned 30, and like kind of had that whole like, oh my God, I'm turning, single. I'm single turning 30, blah blah blah. I like had a whole existential crisis about that. And then, I quickly met him after that. I made it a priority to me, and I really put the vibes out there that I was like ready for love. And the number one thing that I can't stress enough to any of the girls that are listening that are single that give a fuck about advice, some marriage advice from me personally. I mean, my husband and I just celebrated our 7-year dating anniversary. So 7 years since we've been, dating, and it's the longest relationship I have ever been in. And it feels so good. And it has been a lot of work. So you just have to know that the person that you meet the day you meet them, that's who you're marrying. He's the exact same person 7 years later. Like, he literally, yes, we're 7 years older and we're wiser and we're more successful and we have more, we are more mature, but he, at the core of who he is, the same things that annoyed me day one still annoy me now. Like, you have to accept them, meet them who they are the day that you meet them. You cannot expect them to have some kind of wild transformation. Like, it's just not realistic. Another thing that I really suggest is that you really have to remember that if you're out there every day, physically saying the words, typing the words, thinking the words, I hate men, men are trash, that is what you're going to get back. Like, you cannot believe it's that you have no shot, that there is no chance, that there's no good men left, that they're all bad. If you're emitting that, you're thinking that, you're manifesting that, like, that is what's going to happen in your life. So change your attitude, change your energy, and accept that the day you meet the man that you think you're going to marry, you're going to know probably right away. And you're going to have to be like, okay, at some point you're going to probably get the ick. But the thing is that, like, you get the ick and then you are able to immediately be like, there are 999,000 other things that I love about this man. So your icks like come and go very quickly. So yeah, that's my advice about that. And let's get right into the rest of the podcast, you guys. I just wanted to catch up with you for a minute because I haven't chatted with you in a while, and it's just feels so good. I promise I'm going to be here more consistently. Like, the pod is going to be so good next year. The content's going to be fire. I just have so much to say and so much coming up. So on TikTok specifically, I will be introducing more, again, long form breakdown videos. And I got a really cute little pink fuzzy mic. And like, that's going to be kind of my thing. Like, you kind of have to have like a thing that makes you stand out and like be noticed. And with the Bella theme, I always have gone with like a soft, cutesy, lots of hearts, lots of sparkles. Like, I always want my content to look approachable and cute and fun and like giggly and LOL-y. Wait, that just made me remember that. Okay, so I have to sleep at night, like, again, this is another marriage thing. Like, if you were ever to be like, oh, I can't marry someone that snores, like, my man snores. Okay. I wear my AirPod Maxes at night to sleep. I sleep on my back and I wear my headphones and are on noise cancellation. And then and in the phones, put on box fan noises, so that I have like white noise on the inside. And and I do sleep. And then I still take, I stopped taking melatonin, you guys, because I used to take 10 a night, which sounds insane. And it is, but I used to take 10 a night of 10 milligrams each, like 100 milligrams of melatonin every night. And to basically like, I have to like tranquilize myself like a horse, because that's how hard it is for me to sleep. Not just my husband snoring, but like in general, I'm just a very, very light sleeper. I need earphones, eye mask, everything. I need to be like basically would love to be put in like a coffin every night by myself. Like, not to be too morbid, but so yeah, I sleep like that every night. But now I'm not taking melatonin because a big study came out that shows that it's really linked to heart disease and like heart failure. So we're done with that. And now I'm taking straight sleep. It's called ditryptophan something. It's like the actual active ingredient in like a sleep aid. That's not melatonin. It's not naturally sourced. It's like a drug. Unfortunately, this is like what life has come to. I like to naturally take a supplement typically, but that's not strong enough anymore. So, and I think it's hormonal as well. Like, I'm a PMDD girly, bad PMS girly, PCOS is killing me. Again, I don't have extensions right now, you guys. This is all my natural hair. This is actually, this one hair right here is the only K-tip left in my head right now. Everything else is my natural hair. And as you can see, it's not great. I would never dare take this hat off right now. But I'm on a hair journey. I'm on a health journey. And I'm on a journey to make 2026 the best year of my life because we had this beautiful new house. Everything is going great. I'm primed. Oh, the last thing I wanted to say about BravoCon is that I made it into the Washington Post, not my name or anything and not any type of accolade that I've done, but I was in a photo that was featured of Bravo content creators at an event that was featured in the Washington Post about BravoCon and about how content creators have now begun to make money and quit their jobs and make this their full-time career, which is, again, like I do make some money from this, I have to say, like not a ton. I do make money off of my memes. Actually, I made an insane meme the other day when I was in Disney World. Like sometimes you just get a gut feeling, like that's how making memes works. And I was in Disney World and I was just like thinking about Todd and Candy's Todd and Bronwyn's Todd and Alexia's Todd. And I was like, what is going on with all these Todds? And it made me think like it's about Tom, it's about Todd. And I made a quick like it's about Todd meme. And I haven't checked actually today. But when I talk about how like I'm built off the back of viral memes, like I will have shit content for like a couple of months and only get like 500 new followers. And then all of a sudden I'll make a really good meme and I'll get like 500 new followers from just one meme. So my content is very like up and down. But the Todd meme is now at 1,111K views, almost to 6,000 likes. And that's great for my professional dashboard, which is up 5,039. Oh my God, 539,000 views in the last week. 500,000 basically views in the last week. So, your girl's out here grinding. And thank you all for supporting me. So follow me at Bella Talks TV and let's get into this week's episode. So again, I have a little bit of like a hodgepodgey. My OMG moment of the week, sorry for to tell you, that was me making it into the Washington Post. The fact that I got into that photo, got spread everywhere. Really, really proud moment. Really, really, really proud moment for myself and my friends that were featured. So let's go into my LOL moment of the week because there were so many, truly, but I think I have to give it to the Real Housewives of Potomac. I genuinely am loving this season and I'm having a good time. I'm having a great time. I'm actually loving Wendy, which is such a shame that she's having such an insane off season with the whole trial for her and Eddie. Happy Eddie. Eddie was going by Eddie Hennessy, opening fake credit cards. She was going by Pam Oliver. Enter Danny Pellegrino's like Pam Oliver. I mean, identity fraud is so insane. That is a wild thing for Wendy to be doing, for a lawyer to be doing. We've been over this, but I'm still loving her this season, okay? Now, Kay, even though she is flopping a little bit in her coming for Stacey and her also having like a weird thing for Giselle, she had that moment where she snapped. She's actually had like 2 viral moments in the past week. She had one where she was talking to Page Six's Evan Reel on the blue carpet at BravoCon, and she snaps and she looks into the camera and smizes so fiercely. Like that was circulating on the internet and people were just like, holy shit, if someone looked at me like that, like I would melt into a puddle. And she really she just looks so beautiful. The face card, everything. She's a beautiful girl. I love that she's a med spa owner. I love any of the housewives that have real careers, real businesses that they brought onto the show that were pre-existing before they started being part of the cast. Like I love that for them. That's a perfect housewife to me, is somebody like a Heather Gay with Beauty Lab. Like that's incredible. On Potomac also, Monique is back, and I was never really a fan of hers or Candace's. I think I talked about this on my last episode. I was never team Candace or Monique. I disliked both of them. Monique is back though, and like I didn't think, some of the choices she was making, you can tell she doesn't have a stylist. She's not used to having glam on the shows. And that is something that we wanted to have back again, like the real part in Real Housewives. Like we don't want them to be all glossy like Beverly Hills, that we will get to. Trust me, I'm going to talk about the premiere. But what I am loving about Potomac is it is, again, more of that suburban feel of a real community, of a real, PTA moms, of real wives of affluent men in the community. On this particular season, we have an NFL, Jazzy's husband. We have NBA, Angel's husbands. We have a couple of WAGs. We have, again, Giselle, who people are actually she's starting to become the Kyle Richards of the East Coast, where it's like, okay, we understand you are an OG and we get that you gave us your blood, sweat, and tears season 1, okay? And we will forever be indebted to you for kicking off and making the franchise what it is and giving it the foundation that it has. Kyle referencing fighting with her sister in the limo, that was 15 years ago. I think maybe even longer now. Okay, so we do have to truly let it go. We have to like let that go. It's not iconic any longer. You're only as good as your current season, your most recent season. That's what we care about. So Giselle's now also fallen into this like, okay, I'm just an OG that self produces and gives us nothing. And people are getting sick of it. So I understand Giselle, who she is. And I do think that she is an amazing housewife. But what is the point any further without her? Like, I just need Karen back. I'm really missing Karen this season. I don't really care for Angel. She's still go girl giving us nothing. Jassy is really, she's funny because she reminds me of me. She talks like a very cringe millennial. And I'm like, the reason why it bothers me is because it's a shadow of me. She's mirroring me. And I am that girl that walks in and is like, hey girl, like I am a hey girl. I am a oh girl. I am a bitch. What bitch? Like I do these things. I can't help it. I, again, worked in mall culture in the early 2000s. So that was just part of working at the mall and how you communicated with people in the 2000s. Okay. Like it's just slang that has never left my vernacular and my daily vocabulary. So a lot of the things that I say, like even like OMG or I don't know. I don't want to like say anything too cringy, I guess, but I know I say things. I know I say things that I'm just like, oh yikes. So I'm just really LOLing my way through Potomac this season. It's never anything that serious on there. Ashley, she's another one that's been phoning it in since her divorce with Michael. And I also understand, like, she's tired, you guys. Like, Ashley went through a very real divorce, and it was a battle in court for a while, getting custody sorted out, getting alimony sorted out in her settlement. And she woke up every single day like she could have been like Lisa Hochstein, who got nothing. Okay. Larry lawyered up and he left Lisa with absolutely nothing. Okay. She gets just a little bit of child support, which I'm sure, again, I mean, those kids do have a very lavish lifestyle, so I'm sure it's not like pennies, but doesn't get anything extra. Like she's not living like a Sutton getting $300,000 a month or something. Like it's just Lisa's not. She had to really kind of start over and start her own company, and of course she has Jody now, which is great. But Jody's not putting a ring on her finger anytime soon. Like she's barely divorced. But the point I'm making is just that, sometimes in divorces, you never know if you're going to get zero. And Ashley was trending on the way that she was like, I might wake up and get nothing and not be able to even buy a house for me to live in from this. And she ended up doing very well. I think I heard 20 million. So Ashley's doing okay. And now she's back. She's looking better than ever this season. The styling is flawless and she is looking good, but she's happy. And we don't need happy housewives. Okay. We need chaotic housewives that are messy. So she's got to get back into the mix. But overall, I'm loving Potomac. It gets my LOL of the week because I am laughing my way through it. I think my absolute favorite character is Tia. She's such an amazing new housewife. She's fitting in like a glove. And her last name is Glover. So she fits like a Glover. And I love that she married a guy from South Side of Chicago. All right. Chicago, what up? So, okay, let's move into my top 5 countdown. We have a lot of Bravo stuff to talk about. So I want to get right into the Beverly Hills premiere. It's my number 5 most talked about moment of the week. And a lot of people have a lot to say. Some people thought it was great. Some people absolutely hated it. So per usual, the Bravo sphere is divided. And, I think that there's a very, very solid fan base with this show. The ratings are always really good. But I am sick of Alex Baskin and his producing ways. I think that it's gotten to the point that we're having so much fluff and so much producing, and it's basically scripted at this point. So you have to just have that expectation when you tune into it. Now, the big talk of this new season premiere is that Garcelle left the reunion, stormed out, didn't take the cast photo, has been blocking and talking shit about all the women since the day she left. I loved it. I mean, maybe if it's your first time here, then you're going to probably be shocked sometimes when you hear some of my opinions, but I did not like Garcelle at all. I love Dorit. So to me, Garcelle's claims of Dorit being racist were as accurate as Demi's claims that Marciano sexually abused her. Okay. So there's a hot take for you. That if there was a Bella Talks TV sentence that ever existed, that was it. So that's where I stand in things. Okay. I'm not afraid to be misogynistic. I'm not afraid to say my honest opinions. And even at times when I know I have implicit bias, like again, this is a liberal podcast. I am a woke ass bitch. Okay. See, there's a cringy millennial thing that I just said. Perfect example, okay? Like, I am so confident and strong in who I am and my convictions that I'm a good person who loves everybody, is extremely liberal and wants everyone to be equal in life, supports all trans, gay rights in the world. I love every type of race and culture that's ever existed. And guess what? I sometimes appropriate a little bit because that's like how much I am influenced by other cultures. I am white as hell. Okay. I am the whitest girl that pretty much probably ever existed. I mean, not ever existed because I'm not living, in the South, I imagine, but I am from the Midwest, which is not much better. I grew up in a town that had literally only one family that was biracial. So that's the type of thing I grew up on. But that family lived on the same block as me, and I grew up in a very poor white family. So if that starts to help you realize like why I am so socially liberal, and I grew up on food stamps, and I grew up in the free lunch program, and I was a key latch kid that went to after school programs because both my parents were working, and that's what I fight for and live for and breathe for is, I'm against billionaires. I'm against racism. And I'm against stripping people of their rights and their basic human decency. So, just so that we're clear, so anybody who ever is like, oh, you're being a basic white bitch, like, yes, I am. And I apologize. Okay. But it is at the core of who I am. I'm always opening to learning, and I never have any ill intent ever. So, as I go through things and move through things in not just Bravo, but in life, it does make me realize, okay, when we talk about Southern charm, like there is a lens, of course, that's always going to be a little bit of racism, but that doesn't mean that at the core of every single storyline, we have to bring it back to that. Okay. Like we acknowledge it's in the room, but we also have to like learn to. Here I go. All right. I'm not here to rant about that, but like, again, that is part of this podcast. This is a true stream of consciousness every time I get on the mic. So some people love it, some people hate it. My number 5 most talked about moment. Oh, yes. Okay. So we're talking about Beverly Hills. Okay. Again, back to the Garcelle of it all, which is why I got on this tangent. Okay. I don't believe, Dorit is a woman of the world. Okay. I love her. She's going to be fighting with Erica. She's not on speaking terms with Erica or Kyle right now. So they have a huge blow up on the cast trip at the end of the season. So it's going to take a long time to get there. All right. We have at least 15 weeks until we get to this cast trip. So we'll circle back to that. And her stronger than ever. We love Bose. Okay. Now, again, Bose, obviously a Black woman. Okay. So now it's okay for Bose to be friends with Dorit. Like Bose is taking a lot of heat for being friends with Dorit, because she didn't stand up for Garcelle and band together and create a Black alliance, a Black girl alliance. So because this didn't happen now, Garcelle has left the show. And they believe now, they're spreading the kind of this energy around the group, that now that Garcelle's gone, oh, now we can all be friends, because she was the reason that Sutton wasn't being friends with the rest of the girls. We kind of look back into a little bit of some preview or some flashbacks of when Sutton was really coming for Erica, really coming for Kyle, asking questions about her and Morgan. Sutton has been there pressing for a while, and she's been there to get the truth. And I do appreciate that because someone's got to do it. But she, I think, is also like, okay, I need a season off from that. Like, let somebody else come in. So there's going to be a new girl named Amanda. And I'm excited. Like, we finally have a housewife named Amanda, you guys. Like, oh my God, you can tell I'm I have the worst allergies in the winter. I'm not a summer allergy girl. I'm a winter allergy girl. So you'll never see me with a real Christmas tree in my house. Absolutely not. But so bear with me. I'm a little stuffed up. But Amanda Francis is her name. She's coming in. She's a self-made millionaire. She's a money content creator. And I know a lot of girlies like this. Okay. I come from the yoga world, from the life coaching world, from the psychology world, the spiritual world. I have a degree in psychology as well as a degree in comparative religion. I've worked in these types of communities. And I do believe in the power of attraction, the law of attraction, the secret, manifesting. And I believe in astrology. And I believe in using parts of your personality and the parts of psychology of your brain and of your personality to also be able to, in your energy, to kind of like I was talking about earlier with getting married. Like if you don't change your energy, like you're not going to be able to invite that into your life. So I do live by that. And I think you have to really be careful, because when you become personally responsible for other people's finances, that is a very tricky place to be living in. So I'm responsible for my own life and my own money, and I get to choose and make how much choose how much I make, how hard I work, and how I live my life. But when you start to become in a business where you're controlling that for other people, that's what Amanda does. And that can be sometimes unethical. So I'm interested to see her play out. She obviously has a very strong grandeur delusion, because you have to. And again, another thing in 2026, your girl is going to be so much more delusional. So I am here to forewarn everyone that I'm going to be just completely insane next year, because you have to be like that in order to get the things that you want out of this world and out of this lifetime. So we're going all in. We're going Amanda Francis 2026. Okay, because there's money to be made out there. There are more billionaires being made every single day, and you have to believe in the success of yourself, your brand, and what you're selling. So I know that I know Bravo up and down, back. I can do it blindfolded. I can do it in my sleep. Actually, I was going to tell you guys that earlier. I had a dream with the headphones. I was going to tell you I sleep with the headphones on every night, and for some reason last night, this doesn't happen very often, but I listened through like the entire 10-hour ceiling fan playlist that I listened to, and it decided to take the liberty to just start a Giggly Squad episode. So like 7 in the morning the other day, I was awoken by dun 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 dun, the Giggly Squad music, and it like literally woke me up out of my slumber. And that's actually a good feeling. Like, you kind of want to have something that's like that strong for people to know. Remember, obviously Giggly Squad, like, you can never hate on that podcast. I actually looked, it was number 28 in podcasts on Apple, number 8 on Spotify, I think, or something. So as much as I'll talk shit about Paige here and there, I will never talk shit about Giggly Squad. What they did there is freaking incredible. No one can take that away from them. And whether or not they use their relationship, to further, we'll get into Summer House later. Okay, I have more to say on that. So this Amanda Francis girl now has basically been brought on to be casted as like a new villain. They kind of have to do this because of the Fox Force 5. Erica, Dorit, Kyle at the end of the day. Now Bose too is also included in this alliance of basically at the end of the day, like, we're all going to fight, but we know that we're always going to film together. We're always going to reconcile, and we're going to continue to keep this core, because you want to keep control of the group so that as soon as you become like Sutton this year, with no alliance, with no one on your side, you become like almost a free agent, and you're like teetering on getting fired from the show. So there is like a survival of the fittest that comes in, that you want to have alliances. You want to make sure you have somebody always to film with. Okay. So pretty much that's all I have to say about the Real Housewives of the Beverly Hills premiere. I mean, I'm excited to see Dorit actually get divorced. And one thing that I like, something that specifically pisses me off about Kyle Richards, is the fact that we don't know if her and Mo are actually going to file for divorce. They aren't even legally separated. They're married. So her husband is out there doing photo shoots of his belly button, dancing on tables at Art Basel, yachting around the world, skiing topless, doing all kinds. That's her husband. Okay. So people can go on and on and on about how for 28 years they had this amazing marriage. Now she looks like an absolute fool. I don't want to say like the rest of history is forgotten, but now when you think of them, like, that is what you think of. So that's very unfortunate for them and for their kids. Like, how embarrassing. They're laughing about it in the season premiere, and it's like, it's not funny. I don't think it's funny. What a fall from grace. He was literally Bravo's sexiest husband for 10 years running, like, won every poll, won every single year, was always on every single top of everyone's list. And now he's like not even on the list. So let that be a warning. Like, I always like to use that quote from Batman 2 that I learned from Ryan Bailey that I apply to everything in my life now, which is, you either stay around long enough or you either die a hero. Let me get the quote right. You either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain. So sometimes you just got to learn to tap out when you're ahead and when you're on top. That's the best time to quit. Craig, if he's smart, he's not really on top right now. We'll get to Southern Charm. All right. So that's my number 5 most talked about moment of the week, the Beverly Hills premiere. I'm excited to see where the rest of the season goes. I'm not excited to see Erica Jane and Dorit fighting. Lame. Erica and Kyle are the most boring alliance of all time. Boring. Okay. So let's move on to my number 4 most talked about moment of the week. It's a doozy. It's a really freaking good one, actually. It is the premiere of the new Vanderpump Rules. I'm loving it. I actually watched the first 45 minutes of the episode when I was at BravoCon. So I saw it already, and then I was waiting for people to see it on last Tuesday and get online and see the reactions because I didn't know how they were going to take it. And I remember telling everybody I was with and talking to about it, like, hey, I kind of liked it. I did tap out and get a little bit bored at the end, which I even noticed during the rewatch that kind of happened. Like the episode was just like 10 minutes too long for me to have so much new stuff to take in this first episode. But overall, like I do think there's genuine drama. There's real delusion. Everyone's broken, dirty, struggling artists. There's minimal Lisa Vanderpump. Like I think she was used, even though I do think the Natalie storyline was fake. Because again, this is an Alex Baskin production, everybody. So let's remember that like he can't keep his grimy little fingers out of anything. And I do think that he probably got in there and was like, we need to have something happen in the first episode. Like someone needs to be getting fired. Because that does then take you into the mindset of working at SUR and thinking that these people really rely on this paycheck, which is important. It has to be high stakes drama. So for Marcus specifically, who we get introduced to, who's supposed to be kind of be the Jax, like the jerk off, who is a womanizer, who drinks on the job and who doesn't really care about his job. And to him, he's just there to like work and be like a political or a public figure in his eyes. So he is the Jax. And like everybody's like, oh, all we're going to be doing is comparing, old cast members to new cast members, but like it is kind of inevitable. And that's what you have to have that feeling. And that's not just with any reality show, that's with all casting on all Bravo. And especially, any type of like ensemble cast, like you kind of have to have these different personalities to make it work. If you have all alphas, or you have all people that all have like the same problem, it doesn't work as a show. Like everyone's going to kind of have different problems. That's cohesive in some way. So we have Natalie, who is the girl who is like kind of the lead bartender, who actually can sing. So she's not really giving me Sheena as much. She's giving me a little bit of Sheena because she is friends with all the guys and is a guy's girl, and also sings. But the difference with her that I'm getting is I'm getting a little bit more likability and I'm getting less pick me and a little bit more confidence out of Natalie. So it's like I'm lead bartender. Like Sheena was a server. And I know the people that work in the service industry are going to know what I'm talking about. Like there is a hierarchy. Okay. We got the hostesses, we got the servers, we got the lead servers, we got the bartenders, we got the managers, though the bar back's in there too. Like there is a hierarchy. So I really appreciate that. Now, Demi, she has been working there since Sheena worked there 7 years ago. And I'm really liking her coming in as this manager. She does seem to be the glue of the group. Her along with Venus, who is the gay with the long hair that I've been talking about for months, ever since I saw the first cast photo that was leaked. I knew that he was going to be iconic. And I really like him because he's giving, again, cool and confident. It's like these kids that's also what I got out of original VPR. It was like they were all like acting like their shit didn't stink. Like you would look at Sandoval and be like, oh my God, your microwave is dirty and busted and you can't turn the air conditioner on at the same time. But somehow he would drive a Beamer and be hot and like have a band and like think that he was like the singer of Maroon 5. So they all do walk with this air about them that they're something special. And you kind of have to have that. So that's really good. Even when you think back to like James Kennedy DJing, that to me was like, he would always be like I'm the white Kanye and I'm the best thing that's ever happened to music and my beats. And he would rap so confidently and just have I fucking hate James Kennedy now because I am a domestic violence awareness girly. So anybody who starts to cross that line, you're dead to me. But, we need to have that type of delusion going on for sure. I liked the Shane Davis model idiot. He seems punchable. And by far my favorite part of the episode was that part that they're all fighting at the Belmont. Like you guys, this whole episode does take place in basically one day in 24 hours-ish, where they go to SUR, they work their shift, they go out to the Belmont, they get drunk that night, Everyone goes home and fights, and then they have a staff meeting the next morning. And then Marcus ends up on thin ice because he gets caught drinking. Oh yeah, I was talking about how Natalie, the storyline with Natalie, who again is a owner of SUR. Like Natalie and Guillermo are married, and they own SUR with Lisa and Ken. They're all partners. So they do really rely on SUR staying open. And I really like how they addressed that in the premiere about how in West Hollywood things aren't the same. Like it's a ghost town, there's tumbleweeds. And it's really important. Like we already lost Villa Blanca, then we lost Pump. Tom Tom's probably the next to go. Tom Tom, SUR, something about her too, I heard, is not doing well. So, they're hanging on to like everything by a thread over there. And at any moment, all those people could be losing jobs. So it's really important that they're not stealing from the company, drinking on the job, not giving a fuck about making any money for the company. Like that's another thing too. When you are pooling tips, I would never. I have a very hard, believe it or not, a very like good work ethic. When I work hard, I'm an incredible server, incredible bartender. I work my ass off. I make a ton of money, and I don't usually want to share my tips. Now, you do have to tip out barbacks and people, and got to do what you got to do sometimes. I always wanted to keep my own money. Now, when you're working with assholes like on a group project and they don't do their part, and then they still get to take a cut, I don't stand for that. So at the end of the night, when they're all pooling their tips and they walk away with $50 a person, I think I would just quit that day. They want to work there because it leads to other opportunities. They also talk about these other cousins that just were clearly cast for the show because they started at SUR a week before filming. And that's okay because people get cast for shows, but that means they better bring it. They better be really involved with a bunch of weird shit this season. They're giving me like Sandoval, if Sandoval actually was an OnlyFans model and that him and Schwartz did gay stuff together. Tune in for that this season on Vanderpump Rules. Let's take a quick break and then we'll get into the rest of my countdown. Okay, guys, welcome back. Wow. I should have drank a tea and not a seltzer because I'm losing my voice again already a little bit. Okay, so let's get back into my countdown. We left off with number 3. And the number 3 most talked about moment of the week is the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion looks that were just dropped. And just in general, kind of like wrapping up where we are so far with the mid-season trailer coming out. So last night I was watching the reality hot seat, which is the NFL Bravo crossover event. And it started with Justin Sylvester, which like, again, all roads lead back to Kyle Richards. Like she definitely got him this job. And she wasn't even on here, but okay. So Justin Sylvester was hosting. He did seem a little bit drunk to me. Just saying. Heather Gay and Kate Chastain also. Kate was very quiet. She seemed stoned to me. So Justin seemed drunk. Kate seemed stoned. Heather seemed drunk as well. Boston Rob was so annoyed every time everyone was talking over the game and not watching or paying attention. And like something would happen and then they would all be like, what just happened? And like they would have to explain it. And Boston Rob hated his life being there. Bronwyn came out to be a fashion correspondent, which was kind of pointless. I mean, I do like looking at the tunnel looks and stuff like that. But Bronwyn, again, you guys, as much as I appreciate her as a housewife, her personality to me, I don't get it. The way that she talks, I honestly don't think I could sit and actually listen to her speak. In an edited version on a show, yes, but like she speaks in such a corporate tone, such a transatlantic corporate tone. If you guys listen to Sexy Podcast, Gary O'Donnell's impression of Bronwyn, the Bobbsey twins. Oh my gosh, these girls. So the reunion looks dropped, you guys. And Heather was on this reality hot seat last night. And they all of a sudden they're like, okay, the reunion just was filmed 3 days ago. And apparently Meredith has the most to speak for at the reunion, which is like, for what? This plane incident? Somehow one plane ride and she has the most to speak for this reunion. How about Lisa? How about the fact that Lisa has burned every bridge in the group and now has all these lawsuits, lies about buying horses? Her marriage is on the fritz with John. I think Lisa has the most to speak to. How about Mary that has a documentary coming out about her cult and her son is in jail until February? And his wife just filed for divorce from him while he's imprisoned. Okay, maybe Mary has the most to speak for. It's just crazy to me. How about Heather and Whitney because of their tag teaming cousin alliance where every season they're trying to get somebody fired and now it's Meredith. And even Brittany, who Brittany has sworn up and down over and over and over that she's not with Jared. And now she's on Watch What Happens Live and she said Jared's the love of her life and they are back together. And I'm fucking sick of hearing about Jared and the unicorn and all of it. Like, I feel like everyone else has so much more to speak about at the reunion and be in the hot seat about than Meredith. Meredith is there for comedic relief. She's there to throw a scarf over her face on the beach. She's there to say, you can leave. She's there to say, have a Chardonnay. Okay, that's what she's there for. Do not get Meredith fired from this freaking program, Whitney. A lot of housewives have substance abuse issues. If Shannon Bedore is allowed to be a housewife, all right. There's a lot of housewives with substance abuse issues. Erica Jane also was drinking and popping pills a couple seasons ago. Remember her on the yacht, rolling around on the bench, kicking her legs up in the air? Merces in the purse? Like, these are things that Erica was doing. A lot of these people take a pill and drink and they say some weird shit on camera. They don't need to be fired for it. Okay. Housewives 101. Quit calling for people to be fired and quit trying to ice people out by not filming with them when they're a fan favorite. Suck it up. That's like jealousy and bullying. That is so annoying. I hate that. Okay, so anyways, that's pretty much like it. Oh, the point I was making is that on Reality Hot Seat. Welcome to my podcast, by the way. I always like lose my train of thought, but I always come back to it, you guys. Reality Hot Seat, watching Heather Gay. They throw up the reunion looks. And that's always a big reveal, you guys. And I think that they chose to reveal it on here because they were hoping like no one would be looking because they're awful. Bronwyn with long hair looks insane because she goes from 36 to 16 real quick. And you know what it is I hate a side part. Like I live, even though I'm a millennial through and through, middle part. You got a middle part, right? Like, right, girls? Am I right? Ladies, am I right? Like, I feel like with a chic, she already has extensions. If she went to Jay-Z Styles, get your ass in the chair at Jay-Z Styles and have her give you the Mormon part and just don't go as long. Like Jessi right now has a really nice like medium bob. Like let me look up like Jessi's Jay-Z Styles hair right now. Jessi Draper. Let me see. Because I just want to show an example of like hair that I really think she would look good with. And then maybe I'll DM her and tell her. Not that she's listening. She changes her hair so much. Like it reminds me of when I was doing like full head extensions because I would change my hair like basically every 12 weeks when I was there. Okay, I feel like she just had like a medium bob and now I'm only finding pictures with long hair. Look, a short, longer, that's her actual natural hair, which is funny. A little bit longer. Like she's like me. Bronwyn has hair like me, clearly. So when she gets it really long, if it's not full enough, it looks even crazier. So I suggest she needs to go to Jay-Z Styles. She was wearing like a pale yellow color. It just did not look good on her. Then we move over to Heather Gay, who, again, Bronwyn and Heather were both there when they showed these reunion looks. Bronwyn doesn't look great, but Heather, girl, you're in danger. Who styled you? That is a David's Bridal, mother of the bride, a true, I mean, even my mom is 65, 6, will not wear that. The color is a jade, like jewel tone color. Heather has had great hair and makeup all season. Her confessionals, she looks beautiful. This dress is disgusting. I know what the problem is that she didn't want to show her arms. Then wear a long sleeve dress with like a mesh bejeweled something. I hate that look on her. It looks so bad. Maybe I should be pulling up the looks and be showing you guys because it is horrendous. Like absolutely frightening. What is going on with these two? Well, actually, Bronwyn's hair looks better in this photo. Is she middle? She had a middle part. Okay, yay. She actually had a middle part. She didn't have one in the photo, I thought. Okay, so then we have Angie K, and she's just stunning. Angie K's hair always looks beautiful, hair and makeup. And that red dress, corseted, love. The problem is that they don't look cohesive and they have a random array of colors. It looks like nobody was told any type of scheme. Then we have Meredith and Lisa in the middle. Meredith's hair looks pretty good. Her makeup looks pretty good. The dress, the problem I have with it is the color of it. I think if it was not that maroon Lincoln Park After Dark color, but Lisa ain't, you guys. Lisa looks phenomenal. The hair, herring. The tan, a little too dark. The color of the dress, beautiful. Lisa's like gained some weight in kind of all the right places. Like her hips and her ass are bigger. And one thing I thought is funny, like I particularly do not like to body shame. And I don't like when other housewives body shame. And when Angie said the thing about Lisa's kinkles, I thought that was so mean. And I used to really hate on Candace when she would talk about Giselle's kinkles and all this stuff. I really didn't like that. And when she said that about Lisa, I was like, oh my God, it's kind of funny because it's probably not true. But then I actually saw a TikTok of people like zooming in on Lisa's ankles. And you guys, like, they are big and they don't look healthy. They actually look like pre-diabetic. And it looks like she has gout. And it really makes sense. Like she only eats fast food and drinks diet soda. And it is possible that it is all, the red meat, the fast food, the soda. She also just sounds and looks like she would smoke cigs. I would not be surprised. So something's going on with Lisa's health. Okay. So again, I'm not body shaming, but I did see a picture of the ankles and I was astonished. Now, Mary, we've seen this look from her like 1,000 times. Gloves are an interesting thing that older women start to wear. I have noticed my hands starting to look old and wrinkly. I know that they do Botox for that. Don't think it's necessary. I just try to like have my nails done and that makes me feel like my hands like look good all the time. But yeah, the gloves, interesting. And then Whitney's on the end here, so forgettable in like this weird pastel pinky color. Everyone's happy she's blonde again. And I've seen so many people be like, ew, her red hair was disgusting. And again, if you haven't heard this yet, the reason why she dyed her hair red was to support her daughter, Bobby, who is a redhead. And she wanted to show Bobby, like, I'll be ginger with you, basically. Like, it's going to be okay, because she was being bullied. And it was so sweet that she did that. And I do feel bad for kids that are redhead and get bullied. That is so traumatic and traumatizing. So yeah, I love Bobby, little Bobby Rose. So, okay, that's pretty much it for the Salt Lake City. It was just mostly to make the point that everyone's going against Lisa and Meredith and trying to get them iced out from the group. And I'm over it. There's no Salt Lake City without those two. So they need to give it up. I really, really, really like to see Angie Harrington back because, she was married to Brett from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which is my segue into the number 2 most talked about moment of the week, which is Pissgate, Fruity Pebbles Gate, MOMTOK. We're talking Brett and Demi and Marciano's new lawsuit. We have a lot going on over in Provo. All right, Provo, Utah, which is the home of all of these ladies. Let's get into it. So season 3 premiered of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And I did talk about it on my most recent episode. So go back and listen to that one. Actually, 2 episodes ago, I think I talked about it. So go back and listen to my thoughts on the new season. But we need to talk about everything that has transpired since the new season came out, because it all started really with the expose on season 3 that was of what went on at Vanderpump Villa. So now Hulu is weaving this tangled web of Vanderpump Villa and Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And they have each other use each other for content. So they send the Mormon wives to the Vanderpump Villa. Drama ensues. They go back to live their life. Then drama happens there because of what happened in the villa. Particularly Demi and Jessi both found Marciano attractive. I've talked about my love and understanding of Marciano, why I find him attractive as well, and why I think he's a fucking amazing reality TV star that never, ever needs to leave our TV screens. Like he is to the likes of Jax. He is iconic to the likes of a Mike from Jersey Shore. Like, I'm talking like the man has legs. Okay. I want him to be on my Rushmore of toxic men of reality TV. Since the second I saw this man on Vanderpump Villa, I knew I loved him. And then I knew that there was something about him, because when you can always tell by the women the guys are with. And Hannah is a real ass bitch. His ex on Vanderpump Villa. I believe she was raised by a single mom. She's worked her whole life. She kind of gives me like, if Stassi and Kristen Doty like had a baby, she's like a really like snarky, badass, but still very likable and is still an empath. And there's something like about her as a reliable narrator, like people, even though she's insane and really crazy TV, her and Marciano both, I think that they just understood the assignment. Like, okay, we have to really be as insane as possible. So I think that at the end of the day, like, they actually are real people that work in the service industry and were cast on these shows to work for Lisa Vanderpump in these settings. But again, like, the real relationships off camera when they're not filming, because they really did date and work together for years, Hannah and Marciano, like, there's just something that they really know each other. So when Demi and the Mormon wives come there, they meet Marciano. Marciano is now single in this time that they film, because this is during season 2 of Vanderpump Villa, season 3 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Marciano's single. None of the wives are single when they come out there. Okay, they're all married. Demi, Jessi, Jen, and Macy? Did Macy go? Yeah. So they all go out there. No, Michaela. Sorry. Michaela went. And Layla. Michaela, Layla, Jen. So yeah, no Macy, no Taylor, whatever. Anyways, you guys know who was there. It's irrelevant, because then out at the villa, They show a lot of footage of Demi having long chats and kind of flirty interactions with Marciano. And then they also kind of show like everybody though getting along, but they definitely showed that Demi had the most connection with Marciano. And Demi even says on camera, like, Brett and I have almost been divorced 27 times. She kind of give the illusion like my marriage isn't perfect, blah, blah, blah. And then Marciano kind of gives this thing of like, okay, I understand that you are married, but like if there is any chance that you guys do break up and get divorced, like hit me up, because Demi is on her second marriage. Like I think that Marciano just thought in his head, like, okay, wow, like I have a real connection with this girl. She's freaking beautiful. I think he really, really was into her and was thinking to himself, like, crazier things have happened. If you get divorced, like, let me know. Like, we could literally become a power couple and like hook up and date in the next season. Like, let me know. I think he really had genuine intentions going into it with her, but Demi saw him as a pawn, as a storyline, and as content. She used and abused him. So she flirts with him on camera, and then word gets back because Jen, who was also out in the villa, comes back and tells everybody back in Utah, wow, Demi was looking like really flirty with Marciano. And then word gets back to Brett. Demi is fired up because she wants to defend herself, defend her marriage. And then in turn, she starts to talk shit about Marciano and say that, no, actually, like he was flirting with me, but like I wasn't into it. And then as she was continually being pushed about what happened with her and Marciano and if they flirted in the villa and if they kissed, if anything happened, it starts to turn into, I know, but like he was trying to kiss me or he was trying to touch me and like he's a sexual predator. And it was unwanted. So yeah, it looked like we were flirting, but it was all him. And I was just placating and trying not to like embarrass him or piss him off in the moment. That way he wouldn't like retaliate against me. And she creates this entire narrative. And all of the other women on Salt Lake City or on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives have been sexually abused or in abusive relationships. So like Demi taking this approach of the Me Too, like I've been abused, it's just not going over well in this group, because when you've been abused, you do know like certain things that you would never say or do. Like again, like I was saying, like because I'm a victim of abuse, I will never support, like as soon as I do hear somebody is somebody that does that, like with James Kennedy, cold turkey. All right. I used to be his biggest supporter, go to his shows, everything. So when that becomes a truth to me, like with Marciano, if that would have been true, I would have been the first person online canceling him. So, and with being canceled comes lost job, lost income, loss of your reputation. People have unalived themselves over what's happened to them and their reputations on reality TV. So there's very serious things that have happened over these implications. Me starts doubling, tripling down. But while all of this is going on, unknown to Demi's knowledge, Jessi actually did cheat on her husband, Jordan, with Marciano. So there's a whole Demi thing going on, and then there's a whole Jessi thing going on. Now, Jessi is another reliable narrator. We have Hannah, who is Marciano's ex-girlfriend from Vanderpump Villa. And now we have Jessi, who is somebody who's also been alone in a room with him, had contact with him privately over periods of months and time, and speaks up that he is not, that's never been her experience with him. Nobody's had these other experiences with him. So now these claims are being made. Jessi's standing up for Marciano. Hannah's standing up for Marciano. And now Lisa Vanderpump has also came to the defense of Marciano and said that they've reviewed all the footage of the time that Demi was in the castle. Everything was being recorded with mics on, and they couldn't find any evidence that she also had been sexually abused. And then Demi still just continues to say there's footage. They won't show it. They're lying. They're covering it up. They're protecting him. So she's gone so quadruple, quintuple down. Okay. She's in hell. So now is like, okay, I'm basically like so sick of this shit, because Jessi is also attacking. Jessi and Demi are also fighting. It's like a 3-way fight between Jessi, Demi, and Marciano, like all of them, because of what has happened and transpired in the time from the villa. They've all had their issues. Jessi the other day is like, I'm so sick of this. I'm finally going to tell everybody what Fruity Pebbles is, because in season 1 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, they had a big inside joke where they tried to embarrass Demi for telling everybody in a private moment that Brett and her had some kind of sexual act, including Fruity Pebbles. And a lot of people came up with their own theories on this. Jessi's like, I'm finally ready here to tell you that the reason why we call it Fruity Pebbles is because that's what Demi's pee tastes like. and she peed in her husband's mouth. Brett used to be married to Angie Harrington, which is why we want to know, like, is this a kink that's been going on with Brett for a while? And one thing that really freaks me out about this relationship is that Brett is 17 or 16 years older than Demi. And that's quite a power dynamic in this relationship. And Demi might have engaged in acts like this where she felt like she has been sexually abused or been put in these situations to do sexual things that she didn't want to do. And I think she's projecting her feelings of her husband onto Marciano. So when she says it, she means it. And she's like, no, I have experienced this. I know what it feels like. But she actually felt that with her husband, and she did not feel that with Marciano. And she's using Marciano as not only her storyline, as a way to manipulate the audience, as a way to manipulate and gaslight herself and the people in her life into believing her and continuing to support her. She doesn't want to lose a job. She doesn't want to lose income. She doesn't want to lose fame and followers. There's a lot of stakes in this for her. But when Jessi decides to be like, okay, I'm sick of this feud with Demi and I really want to shut her up, so I'm going to expose what Fruity Pebbles is, and it's piss, and you should now like be so embarrassed you're never going to show your face again. And then Demi starts making funny videos, making TikToks, doing lip syncs, laughing in shopping carts filled with Fruity Pebbles. It just shows like the reason why she's a monster that will not die is because she feeds off of attention. So as long as she's getting attention and there are eyes on her and people are talking about her, she's going to continue to grow. The only reason we're going to stop talking about her is if she gets fired from the show and becomes irrelevant to the circle of friends and she kind of like loses that glue. I don't think that anybody will continue to really follow her because I don't think she's that interesting on her own. So unless she becomes some like OnlyFans girl or something and like starts doing this stuff with like Brett on camera, I just don't see how she can like turn this into her own narrative and like own it any longer. So now as a result of all of this, Demi is officially being sued. Marciano has filed a lawsuit, and I know defamation and slander is very hard to prove. I actually had been threatened once to be sued for this, and I thank God was in the right. Thank God I did say some like really, I don't want to say malicious, allegedly. I said some shit about a yoga studio and they tried to sue me, and it turns out like it was just my opinion. So I was able to, like, it's really, really hard to prove that they like lost income and like stuff because of the comments that I made or whatever. So same with this, like Marciano, you have to be able to prove. Now, he hasn't actually been fired from Vanderpump Villa. He hasn't been fired from his job, technically, as far as I know yet. Now, in season 4 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, season 3 of Vanderpump Villa, they send dad talk. They send Dakota and these fuckers over to the villa. So they're really, really trying hard to continue this type of like relationship between these shows. If Marciano is fired from Vanderpump Villa, he definitely is going to be able to be like, I lost my job and my income and my entire like reputation was ruined because of this. You know, if he's still making money from it and like even more so, I don't know how that's going to work out in his defense. I'm not his defense attorney, thank God. I hope he wins though. I do hope he wins. And like, I'm not one for, you know, not supporting women, especially in a case of abuse. Allegedly, it just didn't smell right from the beginning. So I'm glad that like that's why the justice system is created. We'll find out if there's any real proof that does prove that this was unwanted physical contact, or if Demi was really into it and then just regretted it later, and what her motive was for that, and if it was for her to create a fake storyline so that she could continue to profit off of it. I mean, these are all things they have to prove. So at the end of the day, though, like the Fruity Pebbles of it all, like Brett is such a weird, creepy freak. And I made a couple videos about him, I think, like on my TikTok. Like he's so weird. I am so grossed out. Like I am kind of into Spencer Pratt now. Like he reminded me back then of that like cringy husband, Slade, very much like Slade vibes. So that's what I was kind of getting from him. Gross, controlling, weird freak. And then also somebody posted a TikTok, a guy in his car, and it says, when I turn on my TV and the husband of one of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is a man that I used to work for that used to berate me and is deeply closeted. And it's allegedly about Brett. A lot of the guys in the Mormon faith are closeted and they do a lot of weird stuff to deal with that. So it's a big reason why the church is a cult, and it's not something that should be praised and worshiped. So that is it for my number 2 most talked about moment of the week, Fruity Pebbles Pissgate. Say that 5 times fast. All right, let's move on to my number one most talked about moment of the week. It is a huge moment that just dropped yesterday at 11 p.m. on a Sunday night. How dare you do this to us, Bravo? Like, what was the Luann quote? How could you do this to me? Question mark. Okay. Speaking of Luann, she was the halftime performer on last night's reality hot seat NFL crossover. And it is my number one most talked about moment of the week because during this, they decided to give us, without any warning, any wind changing in the air, the Summer House trailer was dropped upon us. And I am so happy with it. My heart was fluttering again. My blood was flowing. I feel like I had like color in my cheeks again. Like I rose from the dead. And I was recently talking on my Instagram about how I'm starting to come full circle with Lindsay Hubbard. I really, really hated her the seasons from her and Carl's breakup until now. I liked her all the seasons before and loved and activated Lindsay and thought she was crazy. And then all of a sudden, like the breakup with her and Carl really took me for a ride. And now, ever since her and Carl patched things up at BravoCon and they are friendly again, looks like they have a good season together. And in this trailer, okay, yeah, so let's break this trailer down. Okay, so they drop it to us. Kyle, Carl, Sierra are in the studio live watching this, live reactions. No Amanda. West is watching it from the sidelines on like a Bravo prompter, but like him and Sierra had an interaction that seemed flirty before they showed the trailer. So it's like, okay, we see that they're on good terms. Then they show us the trailer. And the first thing that I noticed is there's not a bed bug in sight. Not a single bed bug to be seen. No one laying on their phone scrolling, no one texting, no one yawning, no one sleeping. Summer's fun again. We made it. We made it through the bed bug era. Hallelujah. So we're happy about that. The second thing I noticed is that, okay, we have a lot of Kyle and Amanda drama, and somehow for 10 seasons, we are not sick of this fight yet. It's the exact same fight every single year. Kyle doesn't want to settle down. Amanda's ready. And I think because the relationship progressed the way it did, they did get engaged, they did get married. So I think that because those commitments were made, that's why it went on this long. If they had never gotten engaged, Amanda would have tapped out, gone off the show, and probably just like went on to be like a normal person post reality. But Kyle was always her link to the show and the reason why she was on the show. And, she wasn't cast for this show. She was innately cast on the show because she was genuinely dating Kyle. So it wasn't like she got cast on the show and they met in the house. Like they knew each other prior to filming. They had been dating and broken up. They came into the show with a toxic relationship. And it has been the exact same cycle ever since. Now, we're not sick of it because, again, there's been some layers to it. And I think that we've seen some breakthroughs for them over the years. But the main thing that again, like I was talking about earlier, is you cannot expect these men to change. So she really thought she was delusional, which is what makes Amanda a good reality TV star, is that she was delusional enough to think that Kyle was going to change. And we watched her every single season expect it and get no results, and then take a season off and come back the next summer and do the same thing. And it has still to this day only gotten worse. So it is the definition of insanity that she's doing the exact same thing over and over, expecting different results. Great TV. We've gotten to the point now where the rumors are that they are living separately. I've heard this for weeks, months. It keeps getting confirmed, but then they were just on their Instagram making jokes about it and saying that they're living separately, blah, blah, blah. They were clearly together on Thanksgiving. To me, we're not going to know exactly what's going on until we see the spinoff, which probably won't air until about, I would be betting it would be a late fall, winter premiere for next year, like 1 year from now. Like if we're getting Summer House February 3rd and it stopped filming September something, Labor Day, it's about 6 months still, 5 months. So if they just got done filming the day of BravoCon, 5 months, we're definitely not getting it until it'll probably premiere right after Summer House next year. So they'll probably be watching it over the summer, which is actually going to be good scheduling because they were saying about how we want to see them actually living in the city during the summer. Like I can't believe, I'm trying to think of like what sentiment was being made about this that I agreed with, but there was something about like the parts of life that we wanted to see them living like in the summer we never get to see. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see them living in the city is the point of that. And they filmed in the fall. So that's going to be nice. It's going to be nice to see them filming like different stuff. I cannot wait for the spinoff. Andrea is going to be in it and Lindsay, and Carl's not going to be in it. And we saw in the trailer, Carl and Kyle come to blows. Kyle calls Carl a loser. Not in my fucking house. This is a Carl Radke stan house. We all know this. I'm a Carlito. I'm a Carlita. whatever the Carlito fans are, whatever the Carl fans are, the rad keys, I don't know, the rad keys, whatever the fuck we're called, I'm one of them. I'm the president of the fan club. So the fact that I saw Kyle come for that, I'm actually pretty mad at him. Now, I know that they make up because I saw them at BravoCon being besties and loving life. So we know that they're going to be okay. But I do think that that fight probably was a big reason why Kyle and Carl did not film in the spinoff. And I think if they're trying to make it like the valley of the city, where it's more about relationships and marriages and the next chapter in life, like why Andrea's on it because he's married, Kyle and Amanda are married. If we're going from, or well, Lindsay's on it, but then again, she does have a baby. So I think that they are going, it's supposed to be more for like next chapter. I don't know. Carl, I guess, is not included in that. In the trailer, he's making out with one of the new girls. There are 6 new people in the summer house, 2 guys and 4 girls. Kyle and Amanda are coming back fighting. Carl's coming back. He's fighting with Kyle. We just talked about that. What else is going on in the trailer? No Paige. We love it. Everyone looks like they're having fun. Sierra says, I'm going to try to be more easygoing this summer. Love that for her. Love that for her. Now, we still have a lot of costumes. We got an old person costume, a senior citizen's costume. Amanda and Paige and everybody, or Sierra, is all in prosthetic makeup. So we're going to get into senior citizens party, which is funny and on brand because they all are almost 40. Ella's 40. I think Carl's 38. Me. Lindsay's 38. 39. So Jessi, I didn't notice in the trailer at all except for flirting with Sierra. So he's going to have the same storyline as last season, being into Sierra. And I think he'll also have a storyline of him and West fighting a little bit. Again, I saw them together at BravoCon, so I think they're okay. But I do think that they go through something this season. And West and Sierra start to reignite the flame. And see what happens when Paige leaves. See what happens when you get rid of that friend that's on your shoulder all the time, who's a negative Nancy, who's like a little bitch, to be honest, where every time you want to talk about something, they're like, yeah. That type of friend is not good for your mental health. And it's not good, honestly, for positive vibes. Now, without Paige there to tell Sierra 1,001 reasons why she hates West and why men suck and why she needs to decenter men from her life, now look, she's thriving. She's back in love again. Her and West are clearly back in a good place. I think they're trying not to spoil anything and we don't want anything leaked, but I do think they're back together, you guys. I think there's a very strong chance that they're back together. They just seem happy and we haven't been getting a lot of the reports of West's shenanigans lately. So there were no fan reports of him doing anything shady at BravoCon. So I don't know, potentially. We'll have to wait and watch what happens live with that. Besides that, in the season, I'm just happy to see Sierra stepping up. I've been really hard on Sierra in the past, and I really, really want her. Like now on Southern Charm, we have that. We have Molly, who's kind of like the new Sierra, who's like, oh, I'm a model. And I'm a guy's girl and I'm low maintenance and I'm kind of dirty and I'm a little bit of a hoarder, but I like to wear costumes. So I'm getting the same storyline from Molly. She's giving me, I'm not into Molly right now. I don't like her right now, but I am liking the rest of Southern Charm so much. I'm loving seeing Austin and Craig fight. They're my favorite feud. I'm Team Craig. Austin is a jealous hater. And one conspiracy theory that I have is that Madison tells Audrey, Austin's girlfriend, in this, the most recent episode, the one before, where she's like, yeah, I think Sally has the hots for Austin. We know that Madison and Austin are besties, that Austin told Madison to plant the seed to start the breakup. And I think, and also we saw Madison on Watch What Happens Live say that she's besties with Sally. So she was truly in there breaking them up. She went in there right away and was like, girl, she broke them up. She got made way for her friend to get in there. We see Sally and Austin kiss later in the season. I find that all very interesting. Like how that was just so blatant and how she's not getting any heat for it. And I really like Madison, but she was being very messy there and she caused a real breakup to happen. So that's kind of crazy. Poor Audrey. She really, for 3 years of her life to get wasted by Austin, but that's your own fault for dating him. Yeah, that seriously is that's like really unfortunate. And now I don't think Austin and Craig are like still on the best of terms. I think Whitney gets involved in the rest of the season, which is good. I want to see him get like even messier. And, he's 57 and I want him to just kind of go into like senile old man status where he just says things and doesn't give a fuck of the consequences. Same with Shep. Like, Shep does his best work when he's also like in his villain era, when he's trying to be like a lover boy, he gives everybody the creeps. So I'm going to need him to get back into his like weird villain era also. Maybe start something up with like Madison. I don't know. Him and Madison are on good terms right now. She just dressed up like him for that literary figures thing. So I don't know. Shep is such a weirdo to me. I need him to like be receiving more heat as well in this thing. And then the whole Vanita of it all, I was taking a lot of crap from a lot of people saying that I was being racist for not liking Vanita. And then I saw so many other podcasts and posts now talking shit about her. So I do feel very validated that not a lot of people are vibing with her and with her entire storyline this season of like hating Craig and hating Craig only because she's a girl's girl and she likes Paige, even though she's really friends with Sierra and not Paige. So it's like, okay, just because you're acquaintances with Paige, just trying too hard to be kind of like a pick me, but like for girlfriends. Like she's being like a girl pick me. So it's like, girl, it's not that deep. And Craig, like, people are liking single Craig. People are liking him. Like, he is very charming and likable, which is why the show is called Southern Charm. Like, I do really think that Craig has a lot to do with that. It kind of is about, wow, these guys are dicks, but like, why do we like them and root for them still? And how do we still end up like wanting to be around them? And Madison's the same way. Like, Madison used to hate Austin, right? Like, remember Beta bitch? Like, when she used to really hate Austin, now they're best friends. Like eventually it's kind of like a can't beat them good boys club of the South. And that's especially with Whitney. Whitney's a perfect example too. Like people can't hate him because he created the show and he's a producer and he's the richest and his mom's involved. And so it's kind of about like learning to live in this ecosystem. And I'm interested in watching Sally flounder. She's doing a really bad job and looking crazy. Kind of same, so is Vanita. I want them to like have a little bit more of a backbone and like find their inner Madison. Vanita and Madison used to be best friends, and she really lost her way with that. Like Vanita should have stuck with Madison, but Madison's close with Craig, and when these wedges get sorted, like Madison wasn't afraid of going on Craig's side in the Paige breakup. She wasn't afraid of losing followers and people saying, oh, you just are picking the guy's side. She didn't care. She had like that, fuck it, whatever. If you don't like it, too bad. And that's the type of attitude I want that confident attitude. I don't want to go with someone who seems insecure, like picking like a bandwagon. So that's what Vanita was giving. If that makes sense, it has nothing to do with the color of her skin. So that's what I was getting from her. Now I understand that she is the only Black girl being filmed on this predominantly white cast, and that these inner workings are part of that group. But I do not think Craig specifically said to Vanita, I don't want to be friends with her anymore because it was because of her race. I don't think that had anything to do with it. So that's just my truth. Now, is Craig MAGA? Yeah, he is. So are the McBees. All right. Fucking sue me. I am not MAGA. I hate Donald Trump. So for me to be like, okay, I can still watch the McBees and enjoy them. You guys, they took an RV to take Steve Sr. to prison. They took a freaking RV. They loaded the family in there. All the grandkids took Steve Sr. to prison. Now, if he has the Jen Shah treatment, he'll be out in 50% of the time that he did. So he got sentenced to 2 years. I imagine he'll probably do like 11 months, 9 to 11 months in prison. And he'll be back before we know it. All right. They're filming season 3 of McBee Dynasty right now. And Stephen McBee Jr. went off on his Twitter the other day or on his Instagram, and he was like, Donald Trump, this is not fair what you did to my dad. He's being imprisoned when there are real criminals out on the streets, and he's trying to get a pardon or something. Like, I love for this type of drama. I love for him potentially turning on Trump because of his dad going to prison. That's a great reason, right? Wouldn't we want to see the McBees go anti-MAGA next season and become blue because their dad went to prison and like now they're liberal and now they like hate the government? I mean, that does happen. I personally do have a family member that went to prison and now like hates the government, hates police. All right, you guys, we'll end on that note. That is my reality TV most talked about moments of the week. Thank you for being here. Stay tuned for all the exciting, amazing things coming to Bella Talks TV in 2026. Make sure you rate, review. Thanks for being here. I mean, an hour and a half of me fucking yapping. All right. So you're a real one for staying all the way to the end. And make sure you share, rate, review with all your friends and stick around, you guys. Like, again, just getting bigger and better. And I love you. Have the best night ever. Ciao, Bellas.